What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Subnautica. My name is Splattercat, and I'm happy to have you here today. So today I think we're going to work on the Cyclops a little bit more. I think that should be cool. I mean, we've got a lot of little interesting products going on right now. We've got many little interesting projects that are... I told you to climb that, man. What are you doing right now? What kind of weird shenanigans do you have going on? Oh my god. Okay, so put that away. I think my constructor might be busted. Yeah, I'm climbing up from the bottom for some reason. I don't know why, but... Alright, we're gonna pick it up real fast. Let me see if I can fix this. I was trying to get a... Yeah, it's bugged right now. So I needed to pick this up. How do I collect my constructor here? There it is. I saw it. Pick up constructor. There it is. Okay, so maybe if I redeploy it, it'll fix itself. That's the big thing that I'm trying to accomplish right now, because we are going to need this here today. Can I climb up now? Will you allow me? No, it's still bugged. Well, that's going to be a major problem. That's like a big-ass issue, unfortunately. The only way that I know to... There we go. We can just bum rush the damn thing. I don't think it's actually counting right now. That's weird. So anyways, yeah, a bug the developers may want to look at right there. I mean, aside from jumping onto it. What in the hell? Alright, so... Let me... Oh my god, so that is actually... I really dislike that bug. That's a major bug. Let me... Should be in water to deploy the constructor, so I can't glitch it out that way either. Let's bring it over here to this little island and see if maybe that'll fix it up. It won't, but we're gonna try. It seems like it doesn't sink. There we go. Okay, so now that we got that taken care of, that was all enameled glass. The hell do we get enameled glass from? Okay, so let's go take a look at enameled glass. I know where to get the plasteel ingots from. I assume that the enameled glass is simply lithium-infused normal glass. That might be a dangerous assumption, but it's one that I think might be astute. So, don't call me astute. I'm not astute, you're astute. Let's see, we've got... Nobody wants to be the Stoot. The Stoot sounds like one of those things like in an old... It's like one of those old games that like British children would play in like the 1700s. Be like, you're the Stoot! And they would like chase each other around the yard. I don't know. It strikes me as one of those things. I think that we need... So enamel glass was the thing that we were looking at. It's enamel and glass. Okay. So lithium and titanium. I don't even know where we get enamel from. So that's going to be one of those small, weird issues that I guess we're just going to have to explore further and figure it out. I didn't see it in the redstone biome, and I didn't see it in any of the other biomes either, but we're getting pretty deep down now, and we still don't have access to a lot of the stuff that we need. Apparently, lead is made out of copper and silver in this game. The old Plumbum has had some atomic modifications. Let's see here. We needed... Let's grab my lithium out. And the other thing we were trying to stock up on was the titanium. And so we need a lot of titanium before we can make this stuff. And so I think this is probably going to be a gathering episode. Probably won't be the most thrilling, but it's necessary in order to get things done. And since my channel is one of those channels that prides itself, maybe not prides itself, but is definitely based on doing things unedited. Like, I very much prefer to just have things be uninterrupted. I don't mind editing, but I think at this point it's kind of an expectation of my channel that we go through and do everything sort of like the long-winded way. Let's go find ourselves a bit more titanium. So metal's the first thing that we're going to be hunting down. We need a lot of those ingots, and I think this is going to be a time-consuming set of adventures. There's no titanium to be had down at the bottom of the ocean in the other zone near our base. And so I guess if we hit some of these little guys over here... There's some titanium right there. And so I think the better place to get this all done at would probably be just to tool around and grab these shards here. So there's some metal scrap right there. That's going to give us 6. Flipping around a little bit, but that's okay. It can flip around as much as it wants. Get off your flippers, flip around. Alright, get up to get down. Alright, so we got more than enough scrap metal right now to make another ingot. Let's run this on back. I do wish that stuff at the bottom of the ocean didn't despawn. I wonder if that's some kind of like protective system they've put in play to make sure that the physics don't lag the game out. Because I've seen that happen in a lot of other games like The Forest, and they had some serious problems figuring out how to get items that are persistent laying on the ground like they never go away. They just sit there forever to stop interacting with the physics and being a pain, making the engine actually recalculate what they're doing at any given moment. So let's break some of these bad boys open. I do wish that there was stacking too. I actually feel like the inventory would be a lot less cluttered if they just made things stack, but they made the inventory a lot smaller. So basically like half the size of the internet, or I'm sorry, half the size of the internet, half the size of, I don't even know why I said that right there. Like every now and again you get a word like up in your brain that just interacts with whatever else you're trying to say. It was probably written on something in the room somewhere, and I probably just said it out of weird... when I'm reading things, I notice that it happens. So I'll be reading something while I'm talking to somebody, my brain will just interject. Didn't used to do that. I think it's part of the process of getting slower and older. Pretty sure that's what's causing it. I am just amazed at how much dumber I get the older I get. It's weird. Like, I remember when I turned 23 or 24, my mom was like, yeah, past that point, everything's just like downhill. Like, everything just stops working the way that it's supposed to. And I was like, oh, great, thanks for the pep talk, Mom. But it's so true. Like, oh my God, I am nowhere near as sharp as I was when I was 18. Like, my brain just does not function. Like, the stuff that I really hammer in there, what I've noticed is my retention is better. So the stuff that I hammer in there and I really focus on making it stick, it stays for longer. But, like, all those random things you come across over the course of your day, none of it sticks. And I find that I do dumber stuff and I have, like, these weird mental malfunctions along the way, too, that happen multiple times a day now. It's embarrassing. More scrap metal. Alright, so we'll take this on back. It's been a couple up. Oh, we gotta reload our battery right there, so we'll pop that on out, put the other one back on in. Keep on trucking. I really like the Sea Glide. I always have and I always will. I'll probably buy one someday. One of those little frogman units and then just, like, be in my swimming pool just like... I don't know, it seems awesome. It's a device that I want to own, I guess is the point that I'm putting forth right now. Titanium. Everyone make titanium. It's good for your brainium. Eat too much, you'll go insanium. Titanium, a metal for men. There it is, okay. Can you actually brand an entire metal just towards the male, just the male, I guess, sex? If you could, that'd be impressive, fantastic. But metals seem like they'd be very much multi-purpose. Like, really anybody that wants to use them can use them. Or at least anybody that wants to be a part of it can be a part of it. Let's see, we got titanium ingots right there. I need to make a plasteel ingot. I thought I picked up... Where's my... I thought I put it in my inventory already. Maybe I didn't. Where's my lithium at? There we go. We'll take our lithium. That'll help out with the psychoses slightly. Plasteel ingots getting crafted. We're getting there. We're making some of the more expensive stuff that we're going to need in order to make this big, badass hulk of a monstrosity that'll go underwater with us. However, it sort of begs the question, like, once you have the Cyclops, what the hell do you need an underwater base for? Still, I guess having access to an underwater base would be useful in those situations. Let's go grab some more metal from around somewhere. It respawns every now and again, as far as I know. Don't quote me on it. I would hit up the wiki on that one before you were actually like, Splattercat said that it respawns every 5 minutes. And I'd be like, no, I said that I think it respawns. And anytime that I start thinking, you know that we've entered, you know, dangerous waters. I think that for right now, there's that right there. Good, good, good. And another one down here. How much space do I have? Maybe enough for 2 or 3 more. Yeah. We got it all nice and covered. And so back to the base again. It's a little bit of a gopher mission, but I apologize. It takes a while to get this stuff done. It's going to take a while. And then for the enamel, on the back end of the episode, we're probably going to go back down to that horrifying environment through that hole in the side of our sea base in progress. And hope that we don't get eaten by something nasty that gets very, very offended that we're inside of its cave. Alright, fabrication having taken place. Break down a few more of those. Lots and lots of titanium getting used right now. Would you build underwater stuff out of titanium? I feel like steel would be the much better gambit, because steel has tensile strength, which is really what you're looking for underwater. I don't know. You want it to be as part of like a weave that gets stronger as more pressure acts upon it. And titanium, I don't know if it has those same attributes. I just don't know. I'm not educated like that. My metallurgy classes are a long, long ways away, and in fact, I never took a metallurgy class, which is the really, really scary part. I took mineralogy, and I took several other classes that dealt with sort of alloys and things like that, material physics courses and things, but really, none of it stuck. We need an air sac right now, so hey, what's going on? Yup. Oh yeah, let's grab it like its head like that, and that looks really, really comfortable. It looks pleasant. Definitely looks like a humane way to transport. Grab you as well, maybe 2 or 3 of you little guys. And then also, if I could cut some kelp down here, I think that would work out pretty well for me. So we can get ourselves some creep vine right now. There we go. Creep vine number 1. Creep vine number 2, till the inventory's full. Partake of that vine, because why not? Everybody loves their little snippets of video. Okay, so having grabbed that, we'll watch out for him, because he may try to eat us shortly. Eat that creep vine to get our stats all nice and ironed out. It didn't actually do as much for me as I expected it to, so I'm probably just going to keep going at it. Does this regrow? I hope that it doth. Otherwise, we are deforesting at a very, very alarming rate. Little critters that like to live on, inside, and around this stuff probably gonna hate us. Not gonna be real pleased about the fact that we're destroying their homes. I guess it only gives me 1 water, so the air sac is still gonna be necessary. How much metal do I have around? We got 3 of those right there. Okay. So for right now, you just stay where you're at. Your metal is now my metal. I'll leave. Just be calm. There's no need to get angry at me for taking it. What does a fish need metal with anyway? I'm trying to advance the species right now. Trying to do some invention.
Your people won't let it happen. I mean, seriously. I just want to move things forward. I am a subaquatic Tesla. I will have you know that right now. Subaquatic Tesla.
Grab that right there and then back up to the surface. And then we'll head back to our base. Where is it at? It is over there. So we will set a heading. Get that going. Almost there, everybody. I think that, I mean, they made it a little bit more difficult. All you really needed before in order to make the Cyclops was kind of like a, I think you needed gold. I think that was the big thing that you had to tie it up on, and all you had to do was go to the red biome. They made it a little bit more difficult this time around. It's going to take you a considerable amount of chronological expenditure to make sure that you get yourself a Cyclops if you really want one. It's also dangerous. That's the other half, is making it through all this without dying. Pretty major feat. Let's go ahead and finish that off. Lots and lots of assembly to be done. And so the titanium ingot now done. We'll throw that all together, and in finality, we'll make the plasteel ingots. And so the final thing we have to find, we need to find magnesium. We need to find something denoted as a combustible, which I don't know what that is. I haven't seen those around. It might be something that we craft. It might be something that we... No, don't drop those. Keep those. We need those. Those are important to me. And open that back up. All right. Get my tank back. Plasteel ingot having been taken care of. Let's make ourselves a little bit of water, and then I think it's dive time again. I think we really have no other choice. We're gonna have to go back down to that other biome, so let's get on out here. I think we needed to make ourselves a little bit of agua, so there it is. And now that we're all nice and refreshed there, that should buy us a little bit of time. Not much, but enough to where we can finish up the episode. Turn that thing around. Let's head back to the red biome. We're going to be diving once again. That biome makes me feel uneasy. I don't know what it is, because most of the time I am super easy. I'm a little bit of a hoe like that. But still at the same time, oh, I feel so uneasy. Every single time I go down there, I definitely feel like the difficulty on my personal state has been ramped up. So anyways, there it is. I always had a tendency to get a little bit lost down here. I don't see our beacon flashing. Is it limited time only? No, it's down there. Okay, I think it's actually got a limited range, though, which is something that we'll probably want to be very, very cautious about. If we end up getting outside the range of the beacon, that might be bad. So let's go to the left this time. Essentially what I want to do is I'm going to pan a scan around just for stuff along the side out here. And just kind of like see what... Shit! Oh my god, that scared the hell out of me. Whew. Alright, so let me go dig my heart down from around my asshole where it's settled. A little bit more lithium probably won't hurt us. I think we killed the poor little bastard, so we might as well bring him along. Make use of everything that we got here. I'm just going to swim around for a bit and see what is this? Can I harvest you? Is that even possible? No, I can't harvest you. That's okay. I'm just playing around with stuff at this point, just trying to figure out what we can and can't do. So there is either another vent or the same vent that we were looking at previously. This seems like a zone where hostilities would be forthcoming. And so I am nervous about being a part of it. I don't think we need any more gold. I think I'm just kind of like filling up my storage with gold at this point. It's not doing anything for me. Still, it looks like we found everything that's down and in here.
30 seconds of oxygen
So in the interest of further exploration, let's just get going. Let's see what else we can find down here. I'm going to keep the wall on my left, hopefully, so we can follow it back if we need to. What is this? Is this plant interactable? Let's go have a look at it. So where did it go? There it is. So what is this right here? Okay, so it's not something we can chop or gather. So another one checked off the list, I guess. Let's get back to the sea moth. Keep everything on our left, as always.
warning. 30 seconds of oxygen remaining.
I know, I'm investigating. I'm doing science. Science doesn't need oxygen. It's special like that. That's why it's called science. It functions. Nobody knows exactly how. We work on it every now and again. We write it down in little notebooks. Welcome to the science. So what's down here at the bottom of this? And how much further out does this go? I mean, while I am thankful, a little bit of a chug right there, which means we're loading into something that we may not have seen before. And on the plus side, we've got mushrooms. So if you're looking for a profitable career in distributing mushrooms, I mean, we got those all over the place. One can only hope that these are hallucinogenic so we can package them, dry them, and make them work for us. I'm just kidding. We're not going to become an underwater dealer. This is not going to be like Breaking Bad here. Will you stop ramming my ship? What's wrong with you? You're a giant eyeball, and you seem to have serious problems navigating. It's kind of veiny on the bottom. A little bit suggestive. I feel uncomfortable right now. The hunt for enamel or whatever continues. What is this right here? Ooh, there's another hole that we can pop back out of. And is this a cave still? Yikes. I don't know if I should actually go up inside of here. It seems really, really possible to get lost down in here and have some serious issues. I mean, the beacon is still flashing. And since the beacon... Oh, what are those? They're beautiful. However, they kind of look like facehuggers from Alien. Gorgeous little fish, but still... I'm like holding my breath in nervousness right now. Like the anxiety is palpable for me at the moment. Like I really am uncomfortable in this environment. I feel like a fish out of water, ironically, I guess would be the thing that you could say if you were really pushing for some irony here. And what is this? Just like a little chasm. It doesn't actually go anywhere. So I think magnesium before came from one of the deep zones, but I don't think this is it. I think we may have gotten just about everything we can get out of here. I mean, I'm still going to look just a little bit more. We've only got 15% energy left. I think we have to use it on an energy pack or something like that, too. So let me go back to a slightly safer zone. Wow. Adventurous. Definitely feeling adventurous, but not that adventurous. Apparently, I'm stuck on something, and I don't know what it is. I don't know, methinks the collision on some of these mushrooms is a little bit larger than the actual mushroom itself. That's okay, though. If it wants to make its own little underwater mosh pit with me involved, that sounds like fun. I'm down. We can take care of business together. We can throw down, get a little bit of that smash dancing taking place. My hole should be right here. I never thought that I'd need a beacon to find my own hole, but there it is. Let's make our way back up to the surface. And having done so, I think it would probably be much better for us if we looked for one of the deep dive biomes, which I think are actually towards the front of the Aurora. So let's go back up to the surface. I'm going to have to slap a new battery into this thing right this second because it's about to run out. I don't know exactly where you do that at because I've never done it before. But supposedly there's a battery pack around here somewhere that you can like refill or something. Battery pack? Where are you at? Maybe on the bottom. Yay, nay, the power cell. There it is. So how does this work? Do I put like a battery? That's not what I wanted. So how do I recharge this power cell right here? I know I could probably do it with a battery, but it's not equipable. We can't put it into a slot. So that makes me wonder about a number of things. Because I was to understand you could actually recharge this thing right here if you had a battery. But it doesn't look like you can. I'll fiddle with it in a minute, I guess. If we don't figure it out by the end of the episode, what I'll do is I'll go through and I'll look it up on the internet. But for right now, I'm going to put this back in a safe spot right next to our pod. And then I guess we'll just use the Sea Glide for a little bit since we don't have much of an option. I don't like using the Sea Glide as a... Ow. Did I just get run over by my own vehicle? Damn it. Damn it, this is exactly the sort of accidents. Now I gotta get the chalkboard. We had like 38 days since our last accident. Now I gotta get up on the chalkboard and be like, we just had an accident, which is kind of embarrassing. Let's go out towards the front of the sea moth and see what we can find out here since we don't appear to have much of a choice. Probably grab a couple of the air sacs from out here too while we're in the neighborhood. Make use of the lovely little things that we have around in the first place. I think the deep dive biome will probably be over here. But I think there may be some risks. Oh, we got radiation over there. That's no good. Alright, so it looks like the radiation zone has expanded slightly. Let me get back up to the surface. We are pretty close to dying as well. Back down and in we go. Could probably get away with cutting some of this kelp right here. Make hay while the sun's shining and all that. You better back up. I got a knife and I will cut my own legs in order to destroy you. You don't want to do that. You want to get up out of here is what you want to do. I'm sending psychic vibrations towards my foe. I'm letting him know what I think of this whole thing. Might be a good idea to make a radiation suit then, because it looks like this entire area is radiated as hell. Although wrapping yourself in a lead suit before you go to the bottom of the ocean seems like folly to me. Doesn't that seem like a terrible plan? I'm like, let me just load myself into this lead suit here, even though I require oxygen and, you know, the surface. Hopefully we got really, really good flotation devices. I suppose we can just work on that. Let's go make we'll make the radiation suit because we're looking a little bit rough right now. And I think that if we got fibers, these count, right? Okay, so since those count as fibers, what we can do is we'll make another med kit as well to get ourselves healed up because our health is looking very, very suspect. It's on the lower end of the spectrum. Unfortunately, I like the higher end of the spectrum. Cut a couple more of these over here. And in we go. But yeah, the biome that I'm looking for, we've actually seen it in some of our previous playthroughs. It's a very, very deep biome where there's some very, very large critters down there. There may be reapers down there. I don't know exactly where the reapers like to nest. I would prefer not to get reaped. I'm not grain. I don't want to be threshed, reaped, crushed, whatever. Still, it may be down there. We may get impaled. It might get a little bit nasty. I have a real terror of undersea creatures, so I might scream a little bit. I might make some noise. What is this? A coral chunk. It fell through the bottom. Alright, straight up through the bottom of the pod right now. Through the, I guess it's the pod sphincter. And we need to make ourselves a med kit first and foremost. So if I have equipment in here, we got the fibers. We need bleach, which means that we need, actually, in order to make bleach, we needed water. No, we needed calcium and we needed salt. Calcium and salt. And I think there's calcium at the bottom right here. It fell through. So there's my stuff. Should probably take a second out and try and find some salt too, because from how I understand it, I think we only have 1 or 2 more little chunks of salt. Yeah, let's go through the canyon over here. We'll make a look around for some salt. Let's cause some online problems. Make that joke again over and over and over again. I'm actually not a big salt fan. Some people in my family are. Like, they salt the hell out of everything. Sounds like we actually primed one of those little explosive pods. Oh, no, we didn't. Salt! Yay! Okay, so there's our salt. There it is. I mean, I guess you could take it like in an Angelina Jolie direction if you wanted to. If you were really, really stoked about it. But I don't know. I'm not an Angelina Jolie fan. Just not. Like, when I see her in a film, I'm just like, and I kind of just skip it. Like, I won't say anything else nasty about it because I think that's, like, above and beyond. And I'm not one of those people that's going to, like, bash celebrities because, meh, they make a lot of money. They should expect it. I never thought that was like a real excuse to be a terrible human being. However, I will say that her films hold no attraction for me. No real magnetism right there. Dane the Hiccup tried to introduce himself into the conversation. He does that every now and again. I feel like salt is a lot harder to find now at this iteration of the game. Like, it's just not around in the quantities that it used to be. And considering the fact that we're underwater in salt water, really it should be just like everywhere. I think... God. I don't see any salt anywhere. There's one. I should probably do some kind of like gathering in between episodes type deal right now. Just like solidify all the things that I'm going to need forever. So where do you get... I'm going to look up enamel in between here in the next episode, I think. I have no idea where enamel comes from, but I want it. And I would like to claim it for myself. We're almost out of oxygen, so I think I'll break off the episode right here. My name is Splattercat. Time to go do some investigation, figure out where enamel's at. Hi to everybody. I'll see you next time.